Are you interested in an adventurous career with great opportunity for travel? Airline pilots keep our world working, moving goods and people all over the world. Today, I'm meeting with two women in this high-flying field. First, I'm meeting with Lindsey Jorgensen, who has been a pilot for 9 years and is currently working for USA Jet. Lindsey, thank you so much for meeting with me today. So what exactly is it that a pilot does?
So there's more that goes into it than just flying the airplane. It's everything from pre-flighting the airplane. We have to make sure that it's safe and working and ready to go for the day. And then it just really starts waking up. We got to make sure that we are, fit to fly, feeling good that day, making sure that we're eating and everything and physically in top shape, ready to go. We have to check the weather. Dispatch helps us with our planning. We have to make sure that our plan is a good flight plan to go for that day and we're not going to run into any problems on that.
What is the day in the life of a pilot? So what do you come in and do? How do you end your day?
So at USA Jet here, we're scheduled a little bit differently, that we're on demand. So when a customer needs a trip, we go. It can be anything from 6 a.m. I get a phone call saying I have a trip to midnight, 3 a.m. When I get the call, I come to the airport and I get here and I check in with dispatch. They usually already uploaded our flight plan at that point, and I start doing a pre-flight, making sure everything's okay with the airplane. And I pick up my clearance from air traffic control, so that means that they're basically agreeing with the route that I got from dispatch. The length of day can vary greatly for us. Sometimes we come home in the same day, other days we'll spend the night somewhere, and generally for spending the night somewhere, we're waiting for a new trip to be booked, so I could be there anywhere from 10 hours to 3 days to as long as I'm on the schedule, they can keep me out and we just fly wherever they need us to go.
So what would the first job be for a pilot right out of flight school or a university?
There's a lot of different directions depending on what you want to do and what you think would be the best fit, but I would say the most common and the one that I did would be being a flight instructor. While you're instructing, you're also, learning new information with perhaps a student has a question you've never thought of before. So you have to go through and review information, and then also just everybody reacts differently in every situation. So it always keeps you on your toes, and sometimes people don't react the way you expect. So it's always good to keep yourself sharp.
So what is the coolest part of your job?
The coolest thing, other than the views, they're always great, right? You get to see a lot of the country. We fly in Mexico and Canada too, so I get to see a lot of different things. It's never the same thing every day. Every day is different. I don't always know where I'm going. I don't know where I'm going to end up that night. And the adventure of it just really keeps you going.
Thank you so much, Lindsey, for meeting with me today. I learned so much about what it is to be a pilot and learned so much more knowledge. And thank you so much for talking with me today.
You're welcome.
Next, I met up in the cockpit with Katherine Haas, who's been a pilot since 2013. She's going to show me the pre-flight check of the cockpit. So what are we doing today in the cockpit?
Well, we're in the cockpit of a Falcon 20, and we are going to start our pre-flight checks to make sure that everything in the plane is functional, safe, and ready to go for our flight.
So what's the first step for that?
So the first step is we're going to come in and we're going to make sure power is off. So we have two different places for that. The auxiliary bus here pulls power, and then the batteries here. The generators here are what provides power when the aircraft the engines are actually running, and then it charges the batteries. So I'm making sure these two switches are off. The generators should both be on. If you want, this generator, it looks like it's in the off position, so you can flip that switch up, and then it's good and ready to go for when we would start engines. You're coming over to the inverter panel and checking to make sure that these switches are off. Coming basically across here, everything in this row should be off. If it's electrically powered, we want it off, so when you turn the batteries on, again, nothing unexpected is going to happen. We're coming down and making sure the fire handles are not pulled, so there wasn't a problem. We're making sure the landing gear is down, and then the flaps should be up, and we also want to make sure the throttles are at idle. So if you push up on the throttles, go ahead and try it. They shouldn't move.
They're locked.
Saying they're locked. The engines aren't going to accidentally start, or there's not going to be any fluids coming out of there. That shouldn't be. So then the next thing we're going to do is start turning things on. You can turn on the auxiliary bus if you like. That's the middle switch there. nothing happened, but now power is available to different parts of the aircraft if we need it. Then you can turn on the batteries. So you'll turn on the batteries one at a time. If you turn on the left battery, now we have power on the aircraft, and we're going to come over here and check that we have enough voltage. So if the batteries are really low, you can't start the plane, and then you need to have them charged before then. So you'll turn the second battery on. Again, we're checking the voltage. It went up because now they're both contributing. And then you'll turn the one on the left that you turned on first off to make sure that the second one is about equal to the first. So there you go. Then you can turn the battery switch back on. We'll come over and check that the emergency exit lights are working. So you'll take that switch, flip it up to 1, and these lights up here should work. So that's, hey, we know the lights work. So you can go ahead and turn those off. Then we're going to check that all the light bulbs work. So we're checking to make sure, hey, does the bulb work? Because if it's trying to tell us something and the bulb is burned out, we don't know if there's actually a problem. So you're going to push them individually to check them. So if you want to check the 2 red lights and then the 3 green lights below them, we know they're working. And come down here, check the yellow one. That works. And these 2 are for the ignition. You can check those as well.
Looks like all the lights work.
All the lights work. We're good to start monitoring some systems.
Thank you so much, Katherine, for showing me the pre-flight check of the cockpit. It was very informational. So for someone looking to become a pilot, what are some organizations that they can look into?
One of the first places to start would be the EAA, or Experimental Aircraft Association. They have a program that's called the Young Eagles Flights. They're trying to bring free flights to young people and get them into aviation. They also have a large number of scholarships to help people who are, high school students learn how to fly and be able to take that next step. I think also for women, there's 2 organizations that come to mind, Women in Aviation. And another really good organization is the 99s, which was in part founded by Amelia Earhart. So you're part of a legacy of women in aviation if you join that. I think the most important part is just finding a community. If you have people who've been through the same thing or know what you're going to be going through, they can help you, they can encourage you. And so finding a mentor, especially within the EAA or Women in Aviation or the 99s, is really going to help you succeed because you're not going it alone.
There are so many different paths to a career as a pilot, whether it's flying for a regional airline, flying cargo, or flying for the large commercial airlines. There is room to grow and find your niche.
This program is supported by Eastern Michigan University and Digital Divas, with additional support from the DTE Foundation, ITC Holdings, and viewers like you. Thank you.